Hi everyone. In today's class, we are going to focus on two-dimensional array. So in the last class, we have seen how we can define the array, what is one-dimensional array, declaration, initialization of one-dimensional array, and programming example we have seen. So today we are going to focus on what is two-dimensional array, how we can define it, how we can initialize, and programming example for the two-dimensional array. Okay, so we'll proceed with the two-dimensional array. A two-dimensional array helps the programmers to store and process table of data elements of similar type in a computer's memory. So I told you in the last class that we are talking about the data elements of similar data type. Okay, this is the definition of the array. Okay, you might have remember. So we are focusing on what? Data elements of similar type. So in two-dimensional array also we are going to consider the data elements of the similar type. It is similar to a matrix containing the numbers of rows and columns. Matrix, what it contains? It contains rows and columns. Okay, so here also in the two-dimensional array, in the size we have two values, that is row value and column value. The rows and columns of two-dimensional array are indexed by starting from 0, that is row index starts with 0 and ends with what? Row size minus 1. So array also same thing. The index value of array is what? The index value of array is 0 and array size minus 1. So similarly here also it starts with 0 and ends with row size minus 1. And column index starts with 0 and ends with column size minus 1. Okay, so once we say the syntax, then you can easily understand that what is the size for the row as well as column. Okay, so this is a brief introduction about two-dimensional array. So in this we have gone through what is two-dimensional array, and it is related to the matrix concept. You know that matrix contains the rows and columns. So here rows, how we can take the index value means 0 to row size minus 1, and for column what? 0 to column size minus 1. Okay, so move on to the next slide. Example. So example for the two-dimensional array is a two-dimensional array elements can be processed by using common array name with two index representing the row and column. Okay, remember this. So array name will be what? That is common. So only difference is that what? Here two index. How many index are there? Two index that represents one row and one for column. Okay, so listen, here we have the example. So example, that is to store and process 6 subject marks of 5 students. Okay, so how we can declare using the array concept, that is int a of 5 and 6. Okay, so int is nothing but what? This is a data type. A is what? A is a array name. Array name is same. This is a common for both the index. We have the two index here. One is the first one, remember this is a row index. Okay, the second one is column index. Row index, it has the size 5. This is a integer constant. Okay, maximum we can have 5 data elements. So 6 is a column index. 6 indicates that it is also an integer constant. We can have a maximum 6 data elements in this. Okay, so in this example, so we have taken how many rows here? 5 rows. 5 rows are nothing but what? 5 students. Okay, and 6 subjects are there. So column value will be considered as a subject and row value will be considered as a student. Are you getting? So why you have taken the row as a student means here 5 students are there. That's why row 0 to 4. Okay, we have gone through like what is the index value of the row. It starts from 0 and it ends with the row size minus 1. Row size is 5. 5 minus 1 will be 4. Hope you have understood this concept. And similarly for the column also. Column, it starts from 0 and it ends with the column size minus 1. So what is the total column size? 6, isn't it? Okay, 6 minus 1 will be 5. Okay, fine. So these are the column and these are the rows. Okay, so inside the table, whatever is there, that is what we call it as a data element. Okay, so here in the row 0, we have entered the student information. The information, this is all about the what? Subject and marks. Okay, so subject marks is, imagine that student 1, he has got, okay, total how many subjects are there? 6 subjects are there. For the first subject, student has got 65, second subject 75, third subject 90, 80, 66, 68. Okay, so similarly for row 4 also, the fifth student, okay, he has got the subject 1, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 and 99. Okay, so this two-dimensional array that is used for to store and process the student information. Here the student information is what? Subject marks. Okay, so it depends upon the how many students are there and how many subjects are there. Okay, it is not like, okay, you can able to store only 5 student information. It depends upon our requirement. So based on the our requirement, we can have the array size. Understood? So this example which illustrate the how actually two-dimensional array works. Fine. Move on to the next slide. Okay, here in the one dimensional array, we have seen how we can declare the one dimensional array. So similarly, we have declaration of two-dimensional array. Okay, the two-dimensional array must be declared or defined in the declaration part of the main before the array elements are used in the executable part of the main by giving common name with 2 indexes representing number of rows and number of columns. Okay, so how we can declare the two-dimensional array means, we have seen in the previous class, that is structure of C program. So structure of C program, in that within the main function, so whatever the variable which we are going to use in the executable part, so those variable we are supposed to declare and defined in the declaration part of the main function. Remember? Okay, fine. So next move on to the syntax. What is the syntax of the declaration of two-dimensional array? Data type, array name, row size, column size. So here data type can be, it can be any data type, can be integer, can be float, can be double, can be character. Okay, array name. So name of the array, that is a valid identifier. So which is common for this both the indexes. So row size and column size, that indicates what? The maximum number of rows and column elements can be stored. Okay, so whatever the maximum size which you are going to give, okay, you can make use of that size. For example, if you have given the row size 5, so there must be a 5 rows will be there. Suppose if you would have given the column size 6, okay, so column size will be 6 will be there. Okay, so once we see the example, you'll get an idea. So as of now, you just try to understand that the syntax which contains the data type, array name, row size and the column size. Okay, fine. So I was talking about the example of declaration of two-dimensional array. Okay, so here to store the integer value for 5 into 5 matrix. Okay, so 5 into 5 matrix means how we can initialize here with the help of the two-dimensional array int a of 5. So here integer is a data type, a is array name, 5 is a row size, and this 5 is what? Column size. Very good. Okay, so we have row size is 5 and column size is 5. Okay, then row value always start with what? 0 and row size minus 1. So from row 0 to row 4. Similarly, column size also, it start with the 0th index and ends with the column size minus 1. Okay, so column 0 to what? Column 4. Okay, so here, because we have seen, we know that, okay, what is the size of the integer for the 16-bit machine? Size of the integer will be 2 bytes. Size of the character is 1 byte. Okay, so we have gone through this concept. Okay, you might have remember this. Integer size is 2 bytes. Okay, so when we initialize this int a5 of 5, okay, so what is the memory allotted for this? The memory allotted will be the total memory occupied by this array is 5, this is row size, 5, this is column size, into 2 bytes. So 2 bytes means what is this? This is the size of the integer. Okay, together totally how many bytes? 50 bytes. So when you declare this int a of 5 comma 5, so we are going to allot 50 bytes for this. Okay, this is a memory allocation in the computer memory. Understood this example? Okay, fine. Move on to the next. We have seen the how we can declare the two-dimensional array. Next is initialization. So how we can initialize a two-dimensional array? It's very simple. It is same as one-dimensional array. Initialization means what? The process of assigning the value to the defined array elements of two-dimensional array is called initialization of two-dimensional array. Okay, so initialization means what? Assigning the value. So in the one-dimensional array, we used to assign the value to one-dimensional array. So here we are going to assign the value to what? Two-dimensional array. Okay, the array elements can be initialized with different in the following two ways. So there are two ways with respect to one-dimensional as well. What are the two ways? One is compile time array initialization and runtime array initialization. Okay, so compile time array initialization we have gone through in the one-dimensional array, as well as runtime array initialization also we have gone through. So with respect to this two-dimensional array, so how this compile time array initialization works and how this runtime array initialization works, that we can see. So move on to the first one, that is compile time array initialization. So here how it initialize the array means, if the values are well known by programmers in advance, okay, please pay attention. If the values are well known by the programmers in advance, then the programmer makes the use of compile time array initialization. Understood this? It is simple as that. If the programmer are well known the values in advance, then we go with what? Compile time array initialization. So what do you mean by compile time array initialization? It is the process of assigning the values during the declaration of arrays. During what declaration? Remember this. Okay, during the declaration of the array, in the declaration part of what? Main function is called compile time array initialization. Okay, it's very simple. Compile time array initialization means what? If the values are well known by the programmer in advance, then we go with the compile time array initialization. And when we are going to initialize it? During the declaration of the array in the declaration part of the main function, before we use the executable part of the main function. Okay, fine. The syntax for this compile time array initialization is data type, array name, row size, column size, that is equal to, this is single equal. Okay, there is a difference between double equal and single equal. Okay, so single equal means we are taking the right side value. Okay, but double equal means that is a comparison. For comparison purpose we use the double equal. Okay, so here we have a list of values, and list of values. Why I have written thrice means, so it depends upon the size of the row and size of the column. Okay, if you give like only one row and one column, then only one list of values will be there. Suppose if you give the number of rows, sorry, size of the rows is 5 and column size is 6, Okay, it will be having the like more than one number, more than one value we are supposed to give to the rows and column. That is why I have written list of values, okay, more than one time. Okay, finally it should end with the semicolon. So this is a syntax. Okay, so if you see one example, then you will get to know how that syntax works. Okay, please pay attention. Int a of 2 3, okay, size 2 and size 3. Here this is row size and this is column size. Okay, remember the first one is always that is row size, second that is column size. Okay, and int is a data type, a is a array name. So by looking at this we can get to know that what is the size of what row, what is the size of column. Okay, what is the size of the row? That is 2. 2 means what? How many rows are there? 2 rows are there. 3 means what? 3 columns are there. Okay, so in this we have entered the value. These are the list of values: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. We know that there are 2 rows are there. This is one row and this is another row. How many columns are there? 1 column, 2 column, 3 column. This is the third column. Okay, so we can represent in this form, or we can also represent in this form as well. Int a of 2 3, this is row size is 2 and column size is 3. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay, separated by comma and end with the semicolon. If we give like this also, okay, what will be the memory allocation there? The memory allocation for this is what? This is 0 1 and 0 1 2. Why we have taken 0 1 means the size of the row is that is 2. Okay, starting with the index 0 and end with the row size -1. What is the size of the row size? 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay, that is 0 to 1. Okay, hope you can understand. And column size is what? 3. 3 means that is from 0 to 2. Okay, so total column size is 3. 3 minus 1 will be 2. That is 0 to 2. Okay, so these are the value which we have entered here. Okay, in this form or in this form. In the program you can give it in this form or you can also give it in this form. Finally it will be allotted in this form, that is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Understood? Okay, so here there is a slight modification to the above declaration. Int a of 3 2. Here size of the row is what? 3. Size of the column is what? 2. Okay, and these are the value. When you enter like this 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, the first thing is that row size will be how much? 3. Okay, 3 means 0 to 2. Okay, and column size is 2. 2 means column size that is starting from 0 0 to 1. Very good. 0 1 2, this is number of rows. So number of rows is 3. So horizontal lines, how many are there? 3. Okay, these are the number of rows. How many columns are there? 2 columns. 0 and 1, 2 columns. So it will be like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay, so that is how in the memory allocation it will store the data. Understood this example? Okay, fine. Move on to the next. The second kind of array initialization is what? Runtime array initialization. Okay, so runtime array initialization, how it works means, if the values are not known by programmers in advance. Okay, what is this? If the values are not known by the programmers in advance, then the programmer makes use of a runtime array initialization. Understood this? It's very simple. Compile time array initialization case, when we know the value, in advance, then we go with the compile time array initialization. Suppose if the values are not known by the programmers, then we go with the runtime array initialization. Okay, so that is programmer reads the values from users through the keyboard by using input functions like scanf, getch, and gets. So by using these functions, so we can give the input to the computer. Okay, so that is how it works. We can see the one example how actually this runtime array initialization works. Okay, it looks a bit complex, but thing is that it is a very simple and easy program. Okay, so in this program, to read and display values for m into n matrix. So try to understand this program, because in the examination you can expect one program on this array concept. Either it can be one-dimensional array or it can be two-dimensional array. Okay, fine. So in this program, what we have to do, we have to read and display the values, that is m into n matrix. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to read the value, that is matrix. Matrix means what? Row and column. So row value also we need to read, and column value also we need to read, and finally we need to display that. Okay, so this is what we have to do. Fine. Okay, so here we have the two header files, hash include stdio.h, hash include conio.h. Okay, then void main. You know that execution of the program always start from the main function. Okay, and we have seen that, okay, before using the these variable in the executable part, we need to use in the declarative part. Okay, so first we are supposed to declare and define the array size. We have taken a of 25 25. A is what? A is a array name. Int is what? Int is a data type. Then m n I j. I'll tell you why I have used this m n and I j. Okay, m n and I j I have used because m and n are the numbers or values which are used for the taking the order of the matrix. Order of the matrix is nothing but that is what is the row size and what is the column size. Okay, so I and j, this is used for reading and displaying the value of the row value as well as the column value. I'll tell you, okay, how actually these two are used in the further instruction. Okay, next, printf enter the order of matrix A. Okay, the matrix means what? Matrix contains the rows as well as a column. Okay, so matrix means it contains the rows and column. Here I have taken two values, m and n. So m and n means I am supposed to enter, m means row size and n means column size. Okay, so enter percentage d values in a row order. So that is, you can check it, this output, enter the order of matrix, that is matrix is 2 3. It means that 2 is a row size and 3 is a column size. Understood? After that, I am supposed to enter the number of, like, what is the row order. So once I give the row order, finally it will display the array elements. So the row order I have given, that is this for loop. Remember, I, that is used for reading the what? Row value. Okay, and j I have used for what? Reading the column value. Okay, so this is for reading the value. You know that how actually this scanf works. Ampersand a of ij, it means that reading the value. Okay, then finally array elements. What are the array elements? Here array elements I have displayed here. Okay, how I am going to display this array elements? I am going to use two for loop. That is one for loop, that is I for what? For row. This for loop, that is for what? Column. Okay, remember I value always start with the 0, and this you know that syntax for the I: initialization, conditional and increment. So for row, first it will read the 0th element. Okay, then again when I is incremented, it will read the second element and third element, like that. Okay, so this for loop, that is for reading the row value. This for loop, that is for reading the column value. Finally, I'm going to print the a of ij. A of ij is nothing but what? Row and column. A of ij, it means that row value as well as the column value. Okay, how we can denote this? This is 0 comma 0. It means that row 0, column 0. 1 I'm going to get. Okay, you know the matrix concept, how it works. Row, that is 0 comma 1. Okay, 0 comma 1 means row 0, column 1. The value will be 2. Okay, so row 0, column 2. Okay, so that is the value will be 3. Like that, I'm going to read E of ij. Finally, this is the output which I'm going to get. Output means enter the order of the matrix 2 comma 3. 2 is a row size and 3 is a column size. Okay, so what is the order of the row? 2. How many rows are here? 2 rows. How many columns? 3 columns. 1 2 3. Okay, 3 columns. So this is the output for this particular program. Hope you guys have understood this program. If you have any doubts, if you couldn't get this particular program, you can ask me later. Okay, fine. So we have covered two-dimensional array. So in this, we can see what is the important question which you can expect for the examination point of view. The question can be, what is two-dimensional array? Explain its declaration and initialization with syntax and example. For this, what you're supposed to write, you have to write the definition for the two-dimensional array and its declaration, how we can declare. There is a syntax is there and example is there. And initialization, there is two kinds of initialization. One is compile time array initialization, another one is what? One is compile time, another one is what? The another one is sorry, I forgot. Okay, runtime. Okay, runtime array initialization. And we have seen the syntax for the array initialization as well. So example, I have taken the matrix example. So that is for reading the values and displaying the value. I have taken row value 2 and column value 3. Okay, fine. Next. So this is for motivation purpose. So dear students, you're talented. Only you need to do is that read more to understand unknown things. Unknown things means CPS subject might be feeling like a bit what new thing for you. Still, if you spend more time on this, definitely you can understand all the concept. Try to understand the concept and try to understand the logic of the program. Okay, don't try to bahar the thing. So spend more quality time on academics. So you have the holidays, so don't waste your time. Utilize your time properly. Spend more time. Go through the notes. Go through the video. If you couldn't get, come back to me. I'm here to sort out your doubts. Here, this is like I have written simple program, that is, while not understood, okay, read recommended textbooks or notes or both. Okay, this is while loop and this is if loop. If loop, how it works? If we have understood, then success in examination or life. Else, fail. What does fail means? First attempt in learning. Okay, so try to attempt. Okay, don't feel like fail. So put more hard work, do more hard work, put your effort, and try to get good marks. Okay, so thank you so much. It completes your two-dimensional array concept. In this, we have gone through what is two-dimensional array, how we can declare, how we can initialize, and programming example for the same. Okay, thank you.